These cassavas has been sitting inside the water for 2 weeks now. So now this is 2 weeks of this cassava sitting in the water because my farm was flooded, where most of my crops were mostly cassava and some were plantain. So I made the first part of this video showing you the level of water in the farm as at that time. Then I also made a part 2 of this video showing you what to do if you have similar situation in your farm. So this is part 3 of this video of how my farm was flooded. As you can see, this is 2 weeks of me leaving this cassava in the water. You can take a very close look at it. You will see yellow leaves all around it. The yellow leaves are much and they are noticeable. Not that you won't have yellow leaves on your cassava, but they will be faint and very little. But in this case, because of the level of water, you can see that the yellow leaves are much, and that is a sign of the cassava sensing the level of water. But right now, the water has dried up or dried to a certain level, and you can see the leaves, you can see the strength of the leaves is back. You can see the leaves standing firm, just like when you open your palm, the palm of your hand, and stretch out all your 5 fingers. You see how strong, how steady it will be, and not like something that is withering. That is how the leaves are looking right now. That is a sign of recovery. The cassava has known that the water has dried to a good level that they can keep growing. So this is one of the cassava that I planted on a ridge. As you can see, that ridge is about 3 feet high, and I left it without harvesting it because the water was not able to cover the entire root. So this is still the ground of the farm, showing you that the water, as at when making this video, has dried to some extent, at least to a very good extent that the cassava can continue their growth. So as you can see, this is the same farm that I showed you that was flooded in the part 1 of this video. So I am not showing you another farm. This is the same farm that I also showed you in the part 2 of this video. You can see that the water level has gone down to a very good level. All these parts that I showed you was flooded. They were highly flooded, but now you can see though there are still little water left there, but it has dried to a certain level. So this is still the ground of the farm, and I'm walking towards one cassava that I will uproot for you to see that the way I told you to approach this situation in the part 2 of this video will really help a lot. So this cassava is a little bit very close to the water level when the water was still on the farm. So right now I have uprooted it for me to show you how it is looking. So take a very close look at it. You will see all over the body. You will see white spots scattered all over the body. You will see white spots scattered all over the body. You can see that that is the part where it will start fermenting. Had it been that the water stayed more than 2 weeks on the farm. You can see this one that I'm holding right now. Take a very close look at it. You will see this white spots scattered all over it. So that is the part where the fermentation will start and then spread all over the body, and you won't be able to harvest it by the time most part of it has been fermented. So you see that in this case, as I uprooted this one that I'm using to show right now, you can see that all of the cassava held itself, none of it has fermented. So you can get 100% cassava that is intact if you delay your harvest this way, despite the level of water on your farm. So right now I'm showing you the hole where I harvested that cassava from. You can see millipede ready to feast on the tubers. So this is the kind of situation that you might see in your farm, because these millipedes, they are running away from the water that previously covered the entire ground of the farm. So in that process, they will run and hide on the ridges, and because they must eat now, they will now start feasting on your cassava tubers. So if you have a millipede in your farm where you have tuber crops, you might want to get rid of them. So this is another part of the farm to show you another cassava that I harvested from this part. You can see these are matured cassava. They are all matured cassava. You can see them, they are already woody, lots of wood and just a few leaves right on top of them. So this one, I harvested it in this place because it was very close to the water level. Like the water came almost close to covering the entire root. So this is also to show you what you can expect in this kind of situation. So this one, you can see that when you take a very close look at it, all over the body, you will still see those white dots scattered all over it. Taking a very close look at it, you will see those white spots scattered all over its body. And you can see this one right here have already fermented. So that one has already fermented. That is what you can expect in this kind of situation. You can see it has already fermented, and from there the fermentation will spread to every other part of the tubers. So once your cassava ferments like this in the ground, you will not be able to harvest it. When you drag and pull the stem, the fermented cassava will still remain inside the ground. It will never come out. And even when you try to bring it out with your hand, you won't be able to do that because it will mix up with the sand very easily. So this is what to expect if you delay your harvest despite the flood in your farm. So you will get some cassava that has started fermenting like this, while you will get a combination of cassava that held itself and did not ferment and waited for you to harvest it. So in general, you will still end up having a good harvest at the end of it all. So let me also say here that cassava behaves like yam in some aspects, because in yam, when you milk a yam without destroying most of its roots, milking a yam means removing the first tuber that the yam produced, then covering the roots back for it to produce another tuber. So in the case of yam, the second tuber that it will produce will just it will not be as big as the first one. It will just be in the size of a seed yam. So the same thing also happens in cassava. When your cassava ferments completely in the water and you were not able to uproot it, since the roots are intact, once the water dries up, you will see that cassava will start to produce a new tuber. Within 1 to 3 months, you will see that it will still produce another tuber for you to harvest. So take note of this also.